Treasure Wars is considered the most difficult and competitive game mode on the Hive. With no RNG involved, it's all down to skill. But what sets apart good and bad players? In this video, I'll be showing you all the tips and tricks that I've learned over the years of playing top competitive solo tournaments. So without further ado, you can improve your Treasure Wars skills well before the game even starts. I would always recommend picking a map, and pick a map that suits your playstyle. Maps like Mushroom and Library are more side rush heavy with consistent pushing and aggro players, while Facility and Igloo tend to be more relaxed and depend on gathering resources. My favorite maps are right in between, like Oceanic and Castle. The games are not a rushy mess, but they are not too boring, and they rely on smart decision making and getting better items than your opponents. Now after you make a choice on maps, I check the gamer score of players. This is searching for cheaters and alt accounts. An account with a gamer score above 1 is quote-unquote a real account, because they have played other games and spent time on them. A 0 gamer score account is a fresh account that's not played any other games, which is a common sign for cheaters and alt accounts. If an account has 0 gamer score and has an auto-generated name or one pretending to Hive with a troll or inappropriate skin, I will requeue, because about 90% of those accounts are cheaters. Trust me, I know, I have a lot of experience with these accounts. If they have a 0 gamer score account with a normal name, it could just be a newer player, but it's always a red flag for me. Next, I check for the levels of the players. This gives me a rough idea of what to expect from the player's skill level. If they're max level with a sweaty skid jump running around with a cape, you can assume that they're experienced. But if they have low gamer score, and they have a noobish skin, and they're only level 2, well, you could assume that they're maybe not the best. But if I have the option to break 1 treasure out of 3, I would go for the better player, or the one I think that is better, because you want to eliminate the higher threats first. Now, for early game. Now finally when the game starts, I check if I have a person beside me. If I don't have one, I get 5 gold, I bridge to metal, and I get max gens. Easy as that. But if I do, which is the case most of the time, I get 5 gold and I did not put on a treasure defense, which is shocking for most people. Because the first person to that middle island between the 2 starting islands has an advantage. They have low ground and they are closer to your treasure. You can put a treasure defense on, but I don't recommend it. Most likely, both players will reach the middle around the same time. If you are slower to mid, you are closer to the edge, which means you have a higher chance of getting knocked off. After that, it's basically a sumo. If you get knocked off, you lose, but also you can die from getting hit enough. To practice this, I recommend literally just playing sumo, but also block placements have a large part too, for clutching and a tactical advantage. Look here where I place blocks in front of my opponent so they can't walk forward, and it breaks their sprint. If I do this enough, they're close to the edge and I knock them off and they die. If you win the first trade, while running towards their base, stack up blocks making it so they cannot escape and go to break to your treasure. Now what you can do is you're going to break your treasure and immediately try to grab their gold. If you do, go to the shop, get a sword, and kill them. If you don't win, then try to prevent your treasure from getting destroyed. If you can, get your gold ASAP, because you'll need a sword, because they're not going to have one because they just have blocks. If the player instead run back to their base, get 10 gold, and buy 2 swords and hide one of them in your ender chest, making sure if you die, you have another one quickly. After defeating your opponent, go to middle. Do not side rush. It's such a waste of time. It only kills 1 team out of 8, and you should really be focusing on the long game and getting better items. Instead, what you should do is you should go to middle. When you pick up your first emerald, check how many you have. If it's 3 to 4, no one's been to mid, but it's from 0 to 1, well, someone's been there, and you need to target that player because they have really good loot, and you need to kill them before they get really stacked. If you're getting chased from middle after you collected emeralds, do not head back to your base. You'll get your treasure broken and not enough time to buy the loot. Instead, go to the person's base you defeated, which is often to the right or the left. If the person follows you, put your items in the chest, except a sword. So you want to put all of your emeralds and diamonds in your ender chest, turn around and fight them. And if they don't do that, well, you just let them break your treasure and you will get really good loot, because that's a worthwhile trade, a treasure for really good loot. If no one follows you back to base, upgrade your gens, get a diamond sword, ender pearls, snowballs. If you don't have enough for all of them, choose what you like. Personally, I go for pearls and snowballs, because I feel like swords are a little expensive early game. Now after this, early game is essentially over because most people have died, and there's probably 4 or 5 people left. And after that, games start to become more and more unique because there's different situations, different players, making them hard to predict for each player. But now when I explain later stages of the game, I'll just give some more general tips to help you out. Minigame is usually when players start to get chain and iron armor. Players with weaker loot will slowly get picked off, while stronger ones will prevail. In this stage of the game, there's around maybe 2 to 5 players, and the best way to win this part of the game is to collect diamonds and emeralds, and constantly doing so. The later in the game, the less you need your treasure. And in certain situations, it is okay to go gather 10 M's for your treasure to be broken. It is okay, it is a good trade for you, because if you have an advantage, you need to keep it. Now, after you collect emeralds, go attack and kill other players, because if you collected the first 10, 15 emeralds, no one else has that. So you know you can come into a fight with snowballs knowing your opponent does not have any. Now let's talk about something that's pretty cool. It's the ender chests. A rule you should always follow is use your ender chest only if you have a treasure, because the whole point of an ender chest is to save your items when you die, and if you don't have a treasure, then it's useless. Or using them to void. And voiding is a strategy that is used not too often. It's where you chuck all of your items into an ender chest, and you jump on the board, respawn, grab your items, and defend your base. This is used if your treasure is in danger and you have time to jump off and put your items in. If not, well, you might die when you're falling and you get insta-killed. Some other general tips is to always have a plan of action. Just standing around is another second, someone else is getting better loot. So you should always be trying to do something. You may be like, okay, I need to collect gold for chain, I need to get this for that, Just have a general sense. Next is where you should actually have an idea of where teams are and who are left, and also where they are located on the map. You scrambling around trying to find where the base is at a time that can be easily prevented. And one fact about Treasure Wars is that the same team colors are always across from one another. So that means in every single game, regardless of the map, aqua is always next to green, blue is always next to gold, yellow is always next to gray, and red is always next to magenta. This simple trick can help you in a pinch when you're trying to find a base, like I explained earlier. When more and more players start to get killed, you start to enter the end game, and it's a little bit broad, but there's actually pretty specific things you can do. Endgame is quite a rare occurrence, and I literally don't even have any background footage to show you, but I can explain it pretty quickly. Endgames are usually 1v1s or even 1v1v1v1s. It's all about gathering as many M's and diamonds as you can. At this point, gens have probably doubled in speed, gaps will be bought out, all players will have bows, diamond swords, snowballs, and ender pearls. It's all down to outgearing and outsmarting your opponent. But one thing about endgames is diamond sets. I only go for them personally if I've stacked loot already. I'm talking diamond swords, all the good stuff. And it's kind of hard, it's a lengthy process to get 28 emeralds, and it's quite expensive, but if you do it, it pays off. In situations like a 1v1v1, third partying is toxic, but it's actually a viable strat that can win you lots of games. In those situations, I only take fights if I know I can win or if I have better loot. Now, I'm going to play a game on Treasure Wars, and I'm going to talk about game sense and decision making. It's going to be fairly uncut, but it's going to be really cool, and I hope you enjoy it. Yo, what's up? So I'm going to be playing some games, and I'm going to also be reviewing some of the stuff that I taught you, just as a little refresher. I'm going to vote for a map. Go for library, I like that one. We're good on gamer scores, it seems like. But yeah, I'll be explaining game sense and explaining what I'm doing and why, just give you a little bit of insight. So I saw there's not even, is there 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there is 8. So I will have some next to me. And another trick I can do, I can look at him, right? I can go like this, I can kind of see his skin over there. And he has the skin, this guy, you can see his skin. So this guy, I look at his name, so I give you just gives me an idea. And I actually do this a lot. It gives me an idea of what to expect from that guy. So I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna get 5 gold. I'm gonna immediately buy blocks. I'm gonna go as quick as I can. So I immediately turn. I'm also gonna bridge up so he can't immediately run around, run up and get it. Oh, he fell, which is good for us. I'm gonna do the same here. And he's gonna go for his gold. No, he's not. He should have gone for his gold there. And now I'm gonna strafe around. And if he hits me, it's fine because I'm just gonna 4-tap him with the sword. He's gonna run away, but look, he has nowhere to run because I put those blocks up. So it's little things like that really make a difference and make it easier to get to mid quicker because you're killing your opponent faster. So another tip, whenever you pass these, just literally always collect diamonds. Unless you're getting chased, just legit always collect as many diamonds as you can because those add up, especially in early game, and you can get an iron. So I'm headed to the mid. I'm gonna check how many emeralds there are in each gen. 3, perfect. That means no one's been here. And I still have 22 seconds to the next run, so I'm just gonna head back and collect all these. But while I'm collecting these, I'm gonna explain game sense. And game sense is something that's actually pretty
pretty hard to explain. I can't just say do this, do that, and you'll be way better. Game sense is basically like experience of the player and what to do, like with instinct, and you know. And it's a slow process of getting better, but there's actually a couple ways that you can speed up this process. This guy is side rushing me, but he is jump rushing, so I think we're okay. Alright, so I don't need this sword anymore. Also, another thing is like really knowing where everything in the shop. Like I don't even have to think to buy items because I just click it as fast as I can. Alright, are you gonna go for me? I'm just gonna go on the side and knock him off if he comes. If not, I don't really care about my treasure too much. Okay, another guy. Alright, I'm gonna sacrifice my treasure just so I can get iron, and I don't want to like die. See, like he couldn't do anything because I had snowballs. And I'm actually gonna ignore this guy because literally he's jobber bridging, so he's not really a threat to me. So I'm just gonna go over here and kill the guy who side rushed me, because people, you might want to kill the people who are side rushing you because they're often gonna like go for you and target you. Alright, there's his base. I think he had chain armor, and he's gonna have a stone sword. Oh, he's getting side rush as well. He's getting pushed as well. I'll let him break the treasure. Yeah, I'll kill him. That L guy doesn't have a, or Enderman doesn't have a sword here. Let me kill him. There's not much he could have done there. There's just emeralds on the ground. I don't know why. Also, like, never drop any gold on the ground, because I cannot tell you how many times I've been like, dang it, I'm 1 gold short of chain. And then I, like, look at someone's base, and then there's just, like, 2 on the ground. I'm like, oh, sweet, you know? And then I kill them. It's pretty hilarious. So, like, always just put stuff in your ender chest. So this is where game stem starts to come in. I realize this guy has, what, chain armor? He could be a threat, potentially. And I'm actually going to do the oldest trick in the book. I'm going to take off my iron. But here's actually a trick that, like, it's kind of crazy that most people don't think about. Like, literally, I just hold nothing in my hand, like, all the time. Whenever I'm running around, I legit just hold, like, nothing in my hand. Because when I hold nothing in my hand, they have no information. But if I'm holding diamond sword, they might, you know, might not want to find me, so I'm gonna watch him. Like, now he can't do anything. Now he's running away because I have the good armor. So here's something that's actually pretty cool is once you have iron, what do you use your diamonds for? And this is my personal preference, and some people buy gaps, some people buy knockback boom boxes. But if you have enough gold, obviously buy a bow. If you have 5 gold, then get a bow if you have gold. And I always buy knockback boom boxes, because for me, the gap is gonna try to save your life, but I feel like a knockback boom box is gonna do that quicker, because you can run away literally instantly. Because you can just place it down and you can get out of it quicker. Because like, you know, games like that, they're just a little bit slower. Because gaps just are just slower. I'm gonna finish off this guy. He has a giant treasure defense. See, look, he is super undergeared compared to me because he just base camped. Here's also no trick that I can show you real quick. After I kill this guy, I'm gonna take his loot and I'm gonna cover up his ender chest. And see, look, he's going to get a sword, right? Alright, so I'm getting a sword. I'm gonna buy tools and quickly put them in my inventory. See, look, he has to, like, he can't do anything because, oh, I didn't pick up the sword, but he couldn't, like, access an ender chest because of it. Alright, let me break his treasure real quick. I'm gonna block in, actually, so I can't die. And look, he's gonna have to break wood to get in. And I have snowballs, I just outgear him and there's nothing he can really do. But yeah, I think that's the video, and I'm actually might consider doing a video like this on free shop. So maybe if this video gets like 1,000 likes or something, I might consider it. But that was super fun, and I hope you enjoyed.